Like, did she...
Oh, she worked in private legal practice as a partner at Mayer Brown and held various government positions in Chicago. Most notably, she served as president of the Chicago Police Board and chair of the Chicago Police Accountability Task Force.
Wow. So they love her. Dude, we passed Lightfoot's house. The cops are sitting outside. Mm-hmm. The cops look like they would not do anything if you ran in there with a gun. Like, truly. Like, the cops are sitting there fighting the urge to run into the house with a gun. The faces of the cops sitting in the patrol cars outside Lori Lightfoot's house, they're basically like, hey, man, do what you got to do. I mean, could there be a less enthusiastic position for those people? I mean, they're not fans of Lori. Now, I want you to read, because this shows the type of person she is. I have never Yelped anything in my life. Like, I've never written a Yelp review. I've had, as we know on this show, I've been quite vocal about my many run-ins with people. I don't rat. I entertain. I talk about it on the show. I do not rat. I do not make a written report of a problem that I've had with a business. It's not who I am. Mm-hmm. But there are lots of people who do. Tons of them. And they think it's okay. They think it's good. They think they're doing something virtuous by warning other people about the calamari at La Abundanza. They have to make sure that people know to avoid the fucking minestrone soup at fucking Mateo's, whatever. They're committed. They will single out waiters and waitresses by name. And I've read these reviews. It fascinates me. I did a comedy show once for members of, like, I forget what it's called, the Yelp 500 or something. These people had posted so many reviews on Yelp, so many reviews, that they were, like, in the elite tier of Yelpers, like sick people, right? And they came to this comedy show, or I was booked on a comedy show for them. And as you would imagine, the worst audience in the world. Judgmental, like people that were looking at the glassware that they were serving the drinks in, like, is this right? Is this correct? Like, miserable people. People who have nothing going on. People whose entire life is to be a critic. And what's great about Yelp is, like, that's not your job. There's a great history of criticism, right? In theater, in movies, film, and in dining, you know. But it's not your job to be a critic. So you've taken it upon yourself to give yourself another job you don't get paid for, which is to, like Paul Revere, ride through the fucking woods telling people what they should avoid on this planet. Because God forbid someone else gets duped. Now, by the way, this is the reality. Nobody Yelps to help other people. That's a fact. There is not one person who's ever written a Yelp review because they are concerned that somebody else is going to have a bad time at that establishment. That is the common defense of people who write Yelp reviews. They're like, well, if I don't tell people to fucking watch their back at this particular Denny's, then who will? And it's like, no one cares about a stranger walking in and dealing with the same rude, incompetent service. What they are doing is they're doing it to shame, to punish, to call out, because they know companies read these reviews. When I was a tour guide, we used to get reviews on TripAdvisor, and we'd get bonuses if they mentioned our name in a 5-star review. And a lot of times they would mention my name and they would be like, he was horrible. And then you would get talked to. They would bring you in and they'd go, hey, man, we're getting these reviews about you. And, so the idea that Lori Lightfoot is a Yelper is beautiful. The idea that Lori Lightfoot worked in government her whole life, worked on the Police Accountability Task Force, so we know she loves accountability, okay? And there's something great about her. Now, this is a Yelp review of when she
So this is from August 2017, and this is a review of a party bus rental place, a limo and party bus.
So Lightfoot is going out on the town. Is she married at that point?
Yes, because she mentions her wife in this.
So Lightfoot is married, and
Yes.
she's going out on the town. Now, we don't know to what. Do we know?
No, it just says she's using the service VIP limousine, and she gave them 1 star.
She's using the VIP limousine service in Chicago. And she's going out on the town, and she's unhappy with how this played out. Lori Lightfoot, now mayor of Chicago, very unhappy with the service being given to her by VIP limousine. Now, go into this. I want you to read the review, because what's great about this is the company does something that companies rarely do. They rarely do this. They call her out as not only a liar, okay, but an abusive person. And companies usually just write, "Thanks for the review. We're going to get to the bottom of this." You've seen what companies write. "Thank you so much." But this is the reality. This company had enough. They had enough. VIP Limo of Chicago, all due respect, calls Lori Lightfoot out. Now, Ben is going to read this review, posted when?
2017.
And here is Lori.
I would never use VIP limo again. Driver Carlos showed up early for our pickup. A good sign, right? Turned out not to be so. Well, I'm going to read it the way she wrote it. Turned out not be so. Carlos shows up.
Turned out not be so.
Yes.
Now, one of two things has happened. Lori is using the parlance of the streets, or she's angrily typing, which I think is probably more likely.
Yeah.
Lori is enraged typing this review. So she's not every word might not be, but the general message is going to come through. Continue.
Carlos shows up and wants to use our bathroom. A little strange, but fine. Turns out he pisses in our toilet and does not have the courtesy to put down the toilet seats. Beginning of the end. We were going to the United Center. Carlos clearly has no idea who to get there. He is totally reliant on a whacked GPS system that has him driving his huge Cadillac Escalade stretch down extremely narrow neighborhood streets, going in a route that made no sense. I had to take over and give him clear directions to get to the expressway. Apparently, that was totally emasculating to him. But how says, my GPS says I should get off at Division off the expressway when we are going much further south and west. We finally get there, and he says he needs 2 numbers for the return pickup. We had already given the person paying. We had already given him one from my female spouse. I say I will just give him mine since I am the person paying. Carlos says, I need one from the gentleman. I am totally confused and question this. Carlos explains to this dumb female that he needs a number from a guy because girls take too many pictures and run down the battery on their phone. My expression must have said something because then he said, trust me, I have been doing this 20 years. I'm a middle-aged woman, not some dumb kid from his misogynistic worldview. I, of course, gave it to him, and his response was to rudely close the window divider while I was talking. The guy was a complete a-hole. Stupid, terrible driver, and a complete jerk on top of it. Can't believe he is employed, and I would never use the service again while he is.
Lori Lightfoot reviewing her trip to the United Center, where she went with her spouse and an unspecified gentleman to some event. Very angry at Carlos, the limo driver, for not knowing what to do. She got mad at him for traveling down suburban streets.
He pissed on all over the toilet
Pissed
lid.
on the toilet. Now, here is the
business owner's response.
the turn.
Yeah.
Well, it's a turn.
Yeah.
It's a real turn here. Because let us all remember, this woman is in charge of one of the largest cities in America.
Yes.
This is a real turn. This is what they call a reveal. If you're a fan of dramatic terminology, because we now find out that Lori's character is called into question by the good people, dare I say, good people at VIP Limousine in Chicago. Remember, this opened up with Lori very puzzled about a man showing up to use the bathroom and then pissing all over her seat, which she then called the beginning of the end. Here is the statement from the Chicago VIP limo.
1. Our driver did not use your bathroom. We checked the vehicle cameras and he did not enter your home. You had lots of guests over, and of them could have done what you claim our wonderful driver Carlos did. 2. Our drivers have GPS systems that work with current events and traffic. Chicago often has festivals, and we have to work our way around them. It is not your place to tell him how to do his job. 3. Our drivers ask for a gentleman's phone number, actually, because they don't ever want to seem inappropriate asking for a lady's phone number. And you should appreciate that Carlos took the time to ask for a backup phone number in case you lose signal or battery. Again, our drivers know what they are doing and have experience. Now here's the final paragraph here. It seems to me the only person here who is sexist, my dear, is you. I don't know where you come to your conclusion that you were emasculating him. Maybe you hoped you were. Your language is horrendous and lewd. Just your rant here make me feel embarrassed for you. Also, wow. That's pretty insulting that you refer to women who like to take a lot of pics at their events as dumb females. Your driver arrived early. He got you on time and safely to your event. Your credit card you provided on the contract was declining. We even let you use a different credit card for payment, which is against our rules. And you received an upgraded vehicle twice the price of what you paid without any upcharge as a free upgrade from our company. Wish I could review customers like you. Find something better to do with your time, and you should appreciate great service when you receive it.
Wow. I mean, you want to talk about the smackdown. You want to talk about a total and utter embarrassment.
Yeah.
I am just enjoying picturing her face reading that. Her expressionless face reading this, which shuts her down completely. The guy did not leave his car. So this woman made up. She made up
Yes.
that he went into her house and pissed on her seat. She just made that up. She pulled that out of thin air, if we are to believe these people, which I don't see any reason why not. By the way, it's the fact that's why they took everything else with a grain of salt. They caught her immediately in a lie. So then they go, well, now we're just, because that was one of the harshest responses I have ever seen a company give. So you know that they are confident that they are in the right. They are confident that they're 100% in the right. I have never seen a statement from a company delivered with such venom as the correction to Lori Lightfoot's slander. You know who this person is. Like, you know who Lori is. She's,
Yes.
You want to talk about a bureaucrat. You want to talk about somebody who is pushy, rude, demanding, likes getting people in trouble, likes calling people out, does not like to be called out, does not like to be responsible for their own behavior, invents versions of interactions that did not happen, as long as the person looks horrible, likes people getting fired, likes people getting shamed, likes people losing money. This is the type of person who we're dealing with, truly. And I couldn't love her more. I couldn't feel more of an affection for this woman and a gratitude that she's on the planet, because my entertainment is so important to me, because the world is really trite. And yet this is great. Now, yes, if I was someone who lived in one of these places in Chicago that was, suffering from inordinately, and I mean to say inordinately, but high rates of homicide, the city is falling apart, sure. Not her fault, but she's clearly not helping.
Sure.
I would maybe find it less humorous, but the fact that I don't live anywhere near her, and I can just, I don't deal with any of the repercussions from her personal behavior, which is, as we've seen, atrocious. To me, she is just a very entertaining person. The ill-fitting suits, the fedoras, the blank stare, the dancing. She's like on camera dancing with people. She has no conscience, Lori Lightfoot. And that is what I like about her. She will lie about a limo driver and say he pissed in her house to get him fired. She has no conscience. It is what allows her to dance as people are getting shot. Children are getting shot in the face. She dances. She has no conscience. She's a true villain. Truly, all the things we find abominable in the world, abhorrent, all of the personality types that we want to avoid, the nanny, the rat, the Karen, the person who, keeps the receipts and tries to, get somebody fired, embarrass somebody. This is who she is. And this is how she runs Chicago. A petty, vindictive chief executive who will not take any blame, similar to Trump. She has a lot of Trump-esque qualities. The leaders are somewhat similar. The leaders, I wonder if there's something to that. At the end of America, the leaders have similar qualities. They are craven narcissists they refuse to take any responsibility, and they live in a version of reality that they find best. But they do not, as Chris Hedges says, they are disconnected from reality. Like all of these people that are running these big, corrupt machines that are failing, like Chicago, are unwilling to live in reality because reality is not fun. Reality is not fun. And you can see it in one Yelp review. What's fascinating is that in one Yelp review, you can get a glimpse of the type of person. Can you imagine the Trump Yelp reviews that he would have written?
Oh, yeah.
Had that been around?
The credit card declining would be there, too, in the same review.
The things that he would do and say, because that's, an attribute of their personalities, It's perhaps why they succeed. Because what it allows them to do is they are, in their mind, they have a God complex, and anyone that is not worshiping them at any moment has to be thrown under the bus. You saw Trump did it with a lot of his underlings. He did it with a lot of his supporters. Lightfoot does it with everybody, I'm sure. It's a common theme amongst this personality type. But again, a huge fan of her, and I wish her the best, because nothing to me is better than someone who wears baggy pants, like her pants don't fit, and she's standing there. You got to get that photo up of her if you haven't seen her. Yeah. And she's just standing there, staring blankly.
The pant leg is going under the heel of the shoe.
Yes.
She's walking on her pants.
Yes.
They're so long.
Yes. That is what a goon does. That is what a villain does. It is so important as a villain, as a troll. And she is a troll of the highest order. Her lack of care about her appearance is because, again, she doesn't live in reality. She's living in a world where the pants fit. She's living in a world where they're turning the corner on the shootings. She's living in a world where the limo driver pissed all over her couch. And that world has elected her mayor of Chicago. So why not? Just like Trump, he became the president. Why not? Right? Reality, really, in many cases, is an obstacle to what you want to do and where you want to go. And a lot of these people have figured that out. It's not going to get better. People are now wearing N95 masks in West Coast just because of the wildfire smoke. God bless anyone buying a home in L.A. God bless you. As you've said, you believe that a lot of this is going to get bad, and the West Coast and parts of the South are just going to become uninhabitable.
Uninhabitable.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When?
Really by 2080.
Who says?
Just things I read from top
It's
guys.
going to get bad.
Yeah, it's going to get bad. People are going to go to Wisconsin, up to the Northeast, places like that. Parts of Montana a little bit, and then Canada.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is find a place to just keep our head above water. Leaving Austin, Texas very soon. Our long national nightmare is over. You saw the movers come. You watched the movers come and take the furniture out.
They took it out.
Emotional.
Yeah.
How many months? And again, I'll be there through the end of the year, on and off.
February through, I guess, October. I guess just
February. When I first arrived in Austin, there was a biblical snowstorm. Biblical. That knocked out power. People couldn't get food. Certain parts of the city had no clean water. A smarter man would have seen that as a sign. A smarter man, but Tim Dillon, not always intelligent, has a lot of heart, not always thinking. But there was a part of me that did believe that potentially this was a sign that all was not going to be well. All was not going to be well when I'm driving through Texas in a snowstorm, first in over 100 years. I should have maybe said to myself, is this a sign telling me that this is not going to work out? And we tried. We gave it our all. And I didn't try that hard because my all isn't that much. My all is not that much. I'm 36 years old. And I know that people are like, that's young, and it's not. Here's the deal. It's really not. If you are my age, let me tell you something. You do not have your whole life ahead of you. That is a lie. In fact, you never have your whole life ahead of you, really. No matter what age you are. Because no one knows when it's over. So the idea that when somebody goes, you have your whole life ahead of you, you can't live thinking that. You don't have your whole life ahead of you. 36, you have to know what you like and know what you can stand and know what you can tolerate. If at 36, you are still on the fence about anything, you're insane. If you don't know your sexuality, if you don't know your gender, if you don't know what makes you come, if you don't know what kind of movies you like, if you don't know whether you like to read a book at night or go get coked out and fucked on a pool table, you don't know who you are at 36 years old, you're probably not going to find out, and you know what? You don't want to. God forbid you find out who you are at 36. It may terrify you. You should have an idea. 36, what kind of person are you? Are you a coffee house person, or do you want to see them blown up? I'm the latter. Does Lori Lightfoot represent positive change to you? You should know this. Are you a person who leaves a Yelp review and lies about a limo driver to try to get him fired? Are you getting in skirmishes with Uber drivers at 36? Is that who you are? Are you in the closet lying to people about who you fuck because you're embarrassed about the things you like and you're afraid about people finding out who you truly are because you may get less invites to the game or whatever? And I'm not saying anyone has to come out, but are you that person? Because you know who you are at 36. I'm too old to pretend that I can fucking make it work. It will not work. Nothing. Not a friendship. I know. Somebody flew in to hang out with us a month ago, and they got in a car. I don't even hate this person, but I don't like them. They were a younger person, not sexual thing, not anything, just a dude to hang out. I ended up pulling over in a parking lot, making up some excuse, and putting this person out of my car. It was about under an hour. We had spent under an hour with them, maybe an hour. I am done letting things go, is my point. They flew from Florida, from Miami to New York to hang out with us. Yeah. After an hour of their behavior and their antics, I decided that it was time to move on. As you get older, everything's about brevity. It's got to be quick. You got to know, and you cannot suffer endlessly. There's no value in that. You know, it's about knowing what's going on and moving the fuck on. And that's the thing. You know, I found myself in Austin. I found myself going, I can do it. I can figure it out. I can adapt. I'm not adaptable, really. I've earned the right. By the way, I'm going full fucking motivation today. And I want you to look at your lover, partner, friend, mother, father, and go, I have earned the right to not be adaptable. Earn that right. Earn the right to not be adaptable. I am not adaptable. I saw someone say to their boyfriend once, they said, "You're so adaptable." I thought that was the biggest insult I had ever heard in my life. I wished he turned around and cracked her in the mouth. And I'm against domestic violence. So you can only, in most cases, half of the cases I'm against it. A good half of the time, I think it's wrong. But the point is that you know that that is an insult. Adaptable is an insult. Malleable is an insult. Earn the right to draw a line in the sand and say, no, thank you. I don't want to go there. I don't like them. I don't want to deal with it. I was laying in bed with COVID. It was a mild case, you know, because I was vaccinated, but really because I got the Regeneron. Whatever. Everyone I know who's vaccinated has COVID and is dying. But whatever. I guess that's what was supposed to happen. Every day they literally tell you less and less to expect from the vaccine. Like, you're like, I have it. I probably won't get it, right? They're like, oh, no, you'll get it. Yeah, but I won't get sick. Oh, you'll get sick. Yeah, but I won't die. You'll probably die. And I'm not saying to not get it or whatever, but let's be honest. This hasn't worked out ideally. Can we be honest and say that the vaccine has not been ideal? Can we say it hasn't been ideal? I can smell half of what I used to smell. I'm 3 weeks out. I don't know that the rest is coming back. Can we just say that it's not been ideal? And yes, does it keep you from dying? The numbers say that. And I hope that's true. I hope it's true. But we can admit that we had hoped for more with the Biden presidency. Can we admit that perhaps we had hoped for more? It's not inspiring. It's not an inspiring presidency, is it? That this dementia patient comes out. Now, I'm for the Afghanistan withdrawal. We should have done it a long fucking time ago. But when you see this pale, skin and bones rag, this flesh suit walking out to deliver remarks after these servicemen have been tragically killed, can we say that it's just not ideal? Is that allowed? Is it allowed to recognize imperfections when they are obvious to us? So at 36, I have earned the right, and I hope you have earned the right to not be adaptable, to have things you don't like. I don't like Ethiopian food. And it has nothing to do with, I've tried it. I think I love other types of African food. I don't like the squishiness of it. And I'm sure there's Ethiopian food that's not squishy. But I don't care. So don't email me. But the squishiness of it, the idea that everything's kind of like some type of applesauce, I don't like it. And I don't need to prove a point by going to an Ethiopian restaurant. I know I'm not racist. So I don't need to do it. It's not for me. I love goat. Give me goat. But I know what I like. There's got to be a point where you say to yourself, I can't function in a city like Austin, Texas, which is a schizophrenic place. A place full of, like, the worst kind of red state morons and the worst kind of liberal. It's a collision of the biggest morons that you've ever met. Ne'er-do-wells, C-list, D-list, except for like Rogan and Musk. It's everyone's psychotic. Everyone you meet, whether it's in the tech space or anything, has a big idea and a big dream. It's nice that New York and LA have beaten the dreams out of people. Beaten them out. So the people you meet are not completely crazy. When you talk to people in Austin, they have wide-eyed things. They go, I'm going to start my own city. And you go, okay, thank you. And you just back away slowly, keeping them in your view in case they get physically unpredictable. There's something about the wide-eyed nature of Austin that reminds you of Brooklyn circa 2012. One of the worst places ever in history. Wide-eyed people. Myself, I was one of them, who believed that stand-up comedy was medicine and it was going to save and help me. And all the people I had around me were going to have that beautiful experience. It was going to be transcendent. And we were going to live and love and laugh forever. Well, it doesn't work. Close your eyes. Austin's going to be nothing but a shit LA that smells like pork chops. And your dreams are the things that will eventually tie a noose around your neck and hang you from the tree. And the sooner you get to that position, the smarter you'll be. Don't be adaptable. Don't be adaptable. I've earned the right. Blue Chew, everybody. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night. So you can plan ahead or just be ready whenever. The best part, it's all done online. Blue Chew helps give you the confidence in the bedroom. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door in a discreet package, okay? It is great. Everybody loves Blue Chew, whether or not you even have a penis. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. They've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code TD at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew. Promo code TD to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. It's so important to have Blue Chew around whenever you need it, for friends, family, whatever. It's beautiful. Not that you're going to have sex with your friends and family, but who knows? I don't know what the laws are where you live. The point is that as long as everyone's of age and consenting, you should be able to have sex with your family. Truly. Incest is like the final taboo. Blue Chew. Keeps. You got to keep your hair. One of my good friends is using this and they love it. Keeps offers a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months. You don't have to leave your home. Low cost. Treatments start at $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions. Discreet packaging and proven results. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. Prevention is key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. There's a great way to keep the hair you have on your head. I'm telling you, it's important. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com. That's KEEPS.com/Tim Dillon to receive your free first month of treatment. Free first month. That's KEEPS.com/Tim Dillon to get your first month free. I'm telling you, one of my friends uses this service, really likes it, and he's noticed a difference. He stopped losing his hair, and he's really excited about that. That's KEEPS.com/Tim Dillon. Spike Lee, sadly, genius, acting a little adaptable, doing a 9/11 documentary on what, on HBO?
HBO
9/11
4-part series.
Was going to include some 9/11 skeptics, people that are skeptical of the official narrative.
Specifically the conspiracy group Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth.
Yes. Now, what happened, Ben? You've been following this. Did the media have a cow?
So 2 days ago in the New York Times, this was the end of the interview where he says, they say the last and by the way, this isn't out if you're wondering why you haven't seen this. Members of the media have seen episodes already. So the journalist says, the last episode of this series devotes a lot of time to questioning how and why the towers fell. You interview several members of the conspiracy group Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. Why did you want to include their perspective? He said, because I still don't. I mean, I got questions. And I hope that maybe the legacy of this documentary is that Congress holds a hearing, a congressional hearing about 9/11. And he says, you don't buy the official explanations? And Spike says, the amount of heat that it takes to make steel melt, that temperature is not reached. And then the juxtaposition of the way Building 7 fell to the ground, when you put it next to other building collapses that were demolitions, it's like you're looking at the same thing. But people going to make up their own mind. My approach is put the information in the movie and let people decide for themselves. I respect the intelligence of the audience. And then the journalist says this, right, but you don't say make up your own mind about whether or not the vaccine is poison or make up your own mind about whether Joe Biden was legitimately elected. Spike says, people are going to think what they think regardless. I'm not dancing around your question. People are going to think what they think. People have called me a racist for Do the Right Thing. People said in Mo Better Blues I was anti-Semitic. She's Got to Have It that I was a misogynist. People are going to just think what they think. And you know what? I'm still here going on 4 decades of filmmaking.
And I respect that. Mm-hmm. And I respect his thing of like, why are you going to do a documentary about 9/11 without putting in, by the way, these are not, see, this is what gaslighting is. And I hate that word. I hate the new terminology, right? But isn't gaslighting the type of thing where you're made to feel insane?
Yes, exactly.
Right. So when you ask these questions that are realistic, logical questions, like, hey, Building 7, what's up with that? Okay? Normal, rational questions going, this doesn't look like anything except it looks like a demolition. It doesn't look like anything that's ever happened in the way that a fire is taking something out. When you ask that very rational question, you are gaslighted. You're made to believe that you are insane. You go, oh, well, what about the vaccine? What about Biden? You think we landed on the moon? Oh, yeah. What are you, one of those guys? Oh, lizard people live underground, huh? You go, no, I didn't say any of that. I'm simply asking a fucking question because I have senses. I have eyes and ears, and it seems fucking weird, that's all. Isn't it weird if you told someone it was weird that 15 hijackers from Saudi Arabia attacked the biggest military power ever seamlessly and very successfully, and then that military power went on to invade Iraq and Afghanistan and countries who really didn't have much to do with this, and this was all directed by Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, and we censored 17 pages in the 9/11 report that were damaging to our ally, Saudi Arabia, and the 9/11 Commission chair said we were set up to fail and we didn't have the resources and the information that we wanted, and the president would only testify with the vice president in a like ventriloquism session that they had in front of this commission. If you were to take all of that, and if knowing what we know about the government and what they've done and what they're capable of, to even like Spike Lee, a brilliant director, a smart guy, a guy who understands questions. That's what art is, great art. He understands, why can't I ask these questions? We don't know what the answer is. We don't know where it's going to go. When you start writing a novel, you don't always know the end. You don't know. The work grows. It changes. It evolves. Why can't we ask the questions? When people are shutting down the questions, it's a whole new level of a problem. The answers are one thing. You can fight about answers. But if you shut down the questions, you can't even get to the answers. So the idea that there's a coordinated attempt to smear Spike Lee for including a small, half hour?
It was a half hour of the last episode, which, by the way, 24 hours later after this article, after the media firestorm.
Yeah, what happens? Tell us what happened.
So, as it stands now, this journalist says they went and watched HBO sent out an email to critics Thursday announcing that the screener site was updated with the final edited picture. As it stands now, episode 4 appears to be exactly 30 minutes shorter than the original version that I watched on Monday, coming in at 90 minutes long instead of 2 hours. Indeed, the entire segment on the 9/11 conspiracy group and all apparent references to the group appear to have been excised. So it's gone. He took it out a day later.
And it's the pressure. It's the pressure that comes from the top. People go, you don't want. Now, in fairness, I did not see the 30 minutes, and it would be hilarious if the 30 minutes was just him like talking to Louis Farrakhan about the Jews, and HBO goes, I got to be honest with you. And Louis Farrakhan's like, when the Jews put the fuses in the buildings. And I understand that could be offensive. Absent that, I imagine it was an exploration of people's skepticism about the official narrative, which is now completely amputated, completely removed from the final product, the finished product. It sucks.
So now you have an 8-hour documentary about 9/11. They don't mention anything about the conspiracy
whatsoever.
Sure.
I think, I was talking to Ray about it earlier. I said, what is the percentage of people who believe the official story of 9/11? I don't believe, by the way, when I say that, and I want you to listen to this. You're in your car, or you're on a treadmill. Well, it's my fans. You're in your car, and whatever. No, we have healthy fans, and whatever it is, you're listening to this. I am not saying, do you believe the Bush administration did 9/11? I'm not saying, do you believe they had foreknowledge of 9/11? By the way, not the worst question. What I'm saying is, do you believe that you know and possess all of the relevant knowledge about the 9/11 attacks? Do you believe that? I don't. Very few people I know believe that. I'm talking about conservative, rah-rah, patriot people that I know, okay, are now, in the last few years, even before Trump, coming to a uncomfortable conclusion that they don't really know what happened with the clarity that they would like. That's all. And most people are, I believe, willing and have an open mind about the lengths to which elements of our government will go to cover up criminal, evil behavior. Jeffrey Epstein, prime example. That is evil criminal behavior. And it's covered up. So the lengths of which people will go to cover up the behavior, I don't know what happened. I've talked to very smart people that believe the mainstream narrative. I've talked to very smart people that have a lot of questions. I would put myself in the camp that has questions. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that, didn't Woody Harrelson, wasn't he going to do something with this too?
Yes, I actually have this pulled up.
What did Woody, because I think Woody Harrelson as well had some ideas or reservations here.
Yeah, so this is an article I found that celebrities that don't buy that are into conspiracies.
Jessica, just call. You want to call her back on the show?
Yeah, just put her up next year.
Hey, listen, you're on the podcast. We're doing audio only. Tell everyone about your new show, because we loved it. I listened to about 45% of the first episode. Give it a little plug.
Awakening OG is a guide to the Matrix from an 8-dimensional galactic being who is assigned to Earth and doesn't want to be here.
I loved it. I love how good you are at talking. This is Jessa Reed, and the podcast is called Awakening, and she's insanely good at conveying complex ideas.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I mean, that's the fact. I'm just sitting in a baby's room talking about 9/11 in my Airbnb, which I can't rent because I'm not allowed on Airbnb.
Wait, I was going to say, they let you back in Airbnb?
They absolutely did not. We use another account. I'm banned forever. I'm public enemy number one. Airbnb. So I'm sitting in this baby's room talking about 9/11. And this is my career. People they think I'm doing well. Monetarily I am. But my career, it would be nice to walk on a red carpet, you know? I'm in a baby's room talking about Building 7. It's not as glamorous as it seems.
Why are you in a baby's room?
Because it has the best, what, Ben?
Acoustics in here.
Acoustics, because it's carpeted.
Is Ben with you?
Yes.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Jessa.
Ben, you love the episode too.
Yes, Jessa, we both listened. I loved it. I love your stuff about aliens and interdimensional stuff, and you make astrology and all that stuff exciting to me.
It's the podcast if you're into that stuff, but you want somebody who's got a very funny, dry take on things that's very funny, and you're not like one of these white chicks who you want, when you hear them talk, you want to kill yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's consciousness for people that hate the New Age movement.
I love it. Well, listen, we got to finish this episode. I'll call you later.
All right.
All right, thanks, babe. Jessa Reed, check that podcast out, Awakening, on YouTube and other podcast platforms. But again, I'm not adaptable at this point in my career. Well, I guess for the right amount of money. If you give me $100 million, here's why I will stop talking about 9/11.
Okay.
Do you want to know this? And I want my audience to understand this.
And what's the number? What's the number of money?
I don't know. What did I say, $100 million?
I think so, yeah.
Probably $8 million.
Okay.
My talking about it has done nothing. Do you understand? It hasn't. Congress is not having a hearing. No one gives a shit, right? In fact, people are annoyed when you bring 9/11 up. I don't even mean truthers. People are just like, hey, man, we're over it, right?
Yeah.
So for like, I don't know, $3 million, I'll shut up about it. For $20 million, I will come on the show and talk about why the official story makes sense. I'll start another podcast called 9/11 Did Happen the Way They Said for $20 million. And I will, every episode, through gritting my teeth and rolling my eyes, or I'll just really believe it. Like I'll relapse.
Yeah.
Really. So now what is Woody Harrelson trying to do?
Okay, so he was going to make a movie. It says, because this is an article that says celebrities that believe in conspiracy theories. Here's the 9/11 section. It says, Martin Sheen's son, Charlie Sheen, was reportedly set to star with Woody Harrelson in a movie called September Morn.
With Charlie Sheen?
With Charlie Sheen. And I believe this was back in 2012 or so, when it said it questioned the official narrative behind 9/11, but the movie never materialized. And then Charlie Sheen went on Alex Jones. I missed this. Did you see him go on Alex Jones?
I believe I saw that. I didn't realize there was going to be a movie about it with Charlie Sheen. That sounds fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. And Martin Sheen's a truther, too. Did you know that?
Probably. By the way, I don't think the movie would have accomplished it. The movie probably would have hurt the truther movement. Absolutely. Charlie Sheen starring in a truther movie directed by Woody Harrelson is almost as close to a CIA op as you get, because people would have walked out of that theater and went, I guess the government is right. Yeah. You know? But I still would have liked to see it, right?
Yeah, it would have been great.
You know what I mean? That's like Lori Lightfoot doing like pro-vaccine stuff. You go, do you want people to get it or not? Because no one is being convinced by this goon. Can you get the thing up where we played it on a Patreon? We won't play it. But it's her. She has a great PSA about the vaccine.
Oh, yeah, we played it on the Patreon.
Yeah. I don't know, man. All I'm saying is that there is a theme to the episode, I think. And part of the theme is there is a level of which you realize, unfortunately, that truly nothing matters. And then you have two choices. One is to develop a strict personal code of ethics of which you follow somewhat religiously. It could include hard work, honesty, integrity, whatever. Or none of the above. It could include none of that. In fact, it could be the opposite. It could include lying, manipulation, and sloth. But as long as it's your personal code, it is what will get you through. The other thing to do when you realize that nothing really means anything is to join ISIS or some type of death cult, right? There's no real middle ground if you have the realization that things don't mean much. Donald Trump had a great quote about the Indian earthquake. This is what allows him to be him. And he said something. Anna from Red Scare had tweeted it or put it on Instagram, where he was basically like, can't worry about anything. You worry about things and then 400 people die in an earthquake in India. It doesn't matter. It was some approximation of that. And he's right to a degree, right? Like, you know, Kurt Vonnegut said the most successful people are sociopaths because they're constantly doing. They're never thinking about the consequences. They go, do this, do that. The Lori Lightfoots. Yeah, lie about the guy. Yeah, he came in, he pissed all over the kitchen. Fire him. Don't think about him, his family. You don't think about the fact that they have cameras in the car that can tell he didn't fucking leave. Now, you look like an idiot. You know, you're not even looking out for yourself. The real old school gangsters like H.W. or Joe Kennedy or any of the, you know, they try to look out for themselves too, you know? But it's very hard for people like Lightfoot because they're so impulsive and reckless. And Trump to a degree too, like the new breed of leader, it's very interesting seeing what happens to them, where they inevitably end up. Of course, Lori does not have near the talent that Donald does, but they share some of the same things. When does Spike Lee's documentary come out?
It looks like the first episode is out already, and then I guess they'll probably release them week by week. It looks like.
I want to see the lost footage of the Spike Lee documentary, and I hope it was truly offensive. Because it's all gone, I hope it was the most offensive thing. I hope it was Spike Lee and Louis Farrakhan just talking about Jews for 30 minutes to a point where HBO goes, we're uncomfortable. Because if it was anything other than that, I think it should be in the documentary. You know? But I just, what if 30 minutes is just so unhinged? Spike Lee's just talking about flat Earth. He's just like, listen, we live on a disc. HBO's like, wait a minute. This has nothing to do with 9/11. A few decades ago, private citizens used to be largely that, private. What's changed? The internet. Ben uses this. So important that you have a VPN. All the things you browse, search for, watch, tweeted, all the data is crawled through, collected, and aggregated by third parties in a permanent public record, your record. Having your private life exposed to others to see that was something once only celebrities worried about, but now it's happening to everybody. So you need ExpressVPN, okay? ExpressVPN is great. It is a virtual private network. Scrambles your IP address so people don't know where you are searching from. It's so important. Data harvesters use your IP to uniquely identify you and your location. But ExpressVPN, the connection gets rerouted to an encrypted server, and my IP address is masked. Every time I turn ExpressVPN on, I'm given a random IP address shared by other ExpressVPN customers. That makes it more difficult for third parties to identify me and harvest my data. And the best part is how easy ExpressVPN is to use, no matter what device you're on, phone, laptop, smart TV. All you have to do is tap one button to get protected. So if you, like me, believe your data is your business, secure yourself with #1 rated VPN on the market. ExpressVPN.com/Tim Dillon and get 3 extra months for free. That's ExpressVPN.com/Tim Dillon and get 3 extra months for free. ExpressVPN.com/Tim Dillon. I'll tell you, is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available that may not be locally available in many areas. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly or video phone sessions, so you won't ever have to sit around in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches so they can make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit their website and read their testimonials that are posted daily. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TimD. Join over the 1 million people who've taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people are choosing BetterHelp in all 50 states that they're recruiting more counselors all the time. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Tim Dillon Show listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/TimD. It's been fun to be back out on the road post having COVID. And when I had COVID, this is what I was trying to say before. When you have COVID at 36, you go, yeah, I could drop dead, right? I could die. And statistically, probably with the vaccine you won't, or whatever is what they say. But anything like that, you go, I could die. When you're laying there in bed going, this could take a turn for the worst, and I could die, you start realizing the value of existing and how many people are on this planet but don't exist. You know what I mean? Like, they don't exist. And they don't exist. It's not because they shouldn't or they don't have the value as human beings. They don't allow themselves to exist. They don't allow themselves to be the person that they potentially could be if they had a little bit of guts, a little bit of balls, but even beyond that, if they just stop giving a fuck, stop adapting, stop pretending you like things you don't, stop pretending things make sense to you